Fantastic. All right, so welcome to our first educational course of the new year, a topic that I'm very, very excited about, which is really kind of what this whole program is about. So today we're going to talk about impacting your community and yourself. So as you all know, I absolutely love having sessions like this where we are a little bit more vocal so we can communicate a little bit better. So I'm going to start this off with a very, very important question. We use the word impact a lot. What does impact mean? Come off mute, put it in the chat.
To make a difference.
Yeah, absolutely. Anyone else? All right, Sandy, I'm going to take what you say and we're going to take it one step further. So, an impact is definitely making a difference, but it's making a change that matters. So, it's making that difference that's making that big tangible change. There you go, Grace, in our chat. So, an impact is the process of raising awareness, changing attitudes about a certain topic. Sorry if you can see my dog in the background. Supporting people when they need it the most and creating opportunities for others to act. So, impact is something that's very, very important, but why? Why is impact important? We'll make it even easier for Ulman specifically. Why is impact important?
Because it proves significance.
Absolutely. I'll go into a lot more detail in a minute, but I'm really curious to hear exactly what you guys are thinking about when I say the word impact. So for impact, when it comes to Ulman, the reason why it's so important are the people that we're helping. Flat out. That's the main reason why impact is important. Our CEO, Brock, actually said a very poignant message today that really stuck with me. I did want to share with you all. We talk a lot about how well Ulman's doing right now. Ulman is growing. We have some great news coming out in the future. There's so many new programs that are happening. The students like yourself are doing so many amazing things, which is absolutely fantastic. But the real truth is, while we're doing so well, the reason that we need to do so well are our patients are struggling. Right now, more than ever, patients need that support so much more than ever. So at Ulman, the reason why that impact is so important are the patients. So right now, there are 89,000 young adults every year that's diagnosed with cancer. And this is any type of cancer, and there's so many types of cancer. And as a reminder, for those who attended the class where our chief financial officer or our chief impact officer, Kim Weiner, spoke, she mentioned that number specifically because some of you, I know, sorry about Harbaugh, I got to bring up the Ravens for a second. Many of you are Ravens fans. Probably many of you have been to M&T Bank Stadium, which is a fantastic stadium. That stadium will not fit enough people to account for that 89,000. So that's just to kind of put into perspective how many people are diagnosed every single year. And currently, I know none of you are 20 yet, but you're getting a lot closer than you think you are. But today, cancer is the leading disease among killer among 20 to 39-year-olds. So this is a very, very important area, something that I do tend to use the words the forgotten group a lot when it comes to young adults because when you really look at the roller coaster that is a cancer diagnosis, yes, you're far more likely to be diagnosed previously as a pediatric or a geriatric, but it's that middle group where there's not a lot of support. As I mean, all of you are 14 to 18-year-olds. From 14 to 18, right now, you would be going to places like Ronald McDonald House, which is an unbelievable organization that we work very closely with. However, when you're 15, 16, 17 years old, their facility, I mean, it's great, but there's clowns and there's clouds and there's Winnie the Pooh all over the wall. I love some Winnie the Pooh, but that is not meant for someone like me. But once you turn 18, guess what? Now you're hanging out with the 60, 70, 80-year-olds, and you definitely don't feel like that there's a direct line of support meant specifically for you and your age group. And that's why Omen is here, and that's why that impact is so important. So, since Ulman's been founded back in 1997, we have helped over 11,000 patients, survivors, and loved ones access medical care, apply for financial support, preserve fertility, which is something that's very, very important. A lot of people your age do not really think of, as well as advocating for their needs. And there's so many other things that we do. In addition, we've actually offered over 10,000 nights of free lodging for patients and caregivers that has saved them over $2.3 million in lodging fees, which I will talk about, or we're going to have a video a little bit later that will talk about why that's so important because of the costs associated with everything that we do. Um, all right, so moving on, our 2025, since it's now 2026, that still blows my mind. Our impact that we made just in this last year. So this last year alone, 585 meals were served at Ulman House. Those are people like you. That's like two a day. Yeah, that's an insane amount of people coming in to make sure that our patients feel supported and that they have food. In addition, we had almost 2,500 survivors, patients, and loved ones cross the finish line through our Cancer to 5K program. Many of you were on for our meeting with Jules G, who runs our Cancer to 5K program. If this is something that interests you, you don't have to be a survivor. You don't have to be a patient. There's always opportunities to get involved with our Cancer to 5K. You don't even have to like running. I don't like to run, and I love hanging out with those people. And then our social programming, of course, has actually brought in thousands of young adults together to help connect along the same baseline as survivors, as patients, as those with that connection. So that's why the impact is important, specifically with Ulman. Without that impact, we can't help support all of these people, all these individuals that really need our help. Any questions so far? Cool. All right. So impacting others through action. This is what we're really kind of looking for throughout this whole program. This is not a program that's meant for you to be able to sit around, kind of do nothing. I love the classes are fantastic. A lot of you have been going out and volunteering. Shout out to Mount Hebron, who came out to our Cycle to Inspire event. That is who is in that photo. But we really want to make sure that your actions are really showing through with the impact that's going on. So this could be anything from, again, you guys are embracing the events, the volunteering, you're showing up to our educational courses, but we also want to make sure that we leave time for those fundraisers and those support programs for our patients and families. So impact is built through action and intention. And you're going to see that at the bottom of a handful of these slides. That's a very impactful, I use the same word, statement that I do want to make sure you all are really aware of. So fundraising is something that's very, very important and creates massive change. The reason why it's so important is that every dollar that we raise helps to support those families that do absolutely need our help. Currently, we have a full house at Ulman House, which sounds like a great thing. Yes, we're helping a lot of people, but at the same time, do we want to be needing to help so many people? I get made fun of for saying this a lot. I think this is one of my favorite things that kind of shocks people to say. I would be ecstatic to say that in 5 years, I don't have a job. Who can go out and say, yes, I wish I don't have a job in 5 years? But for me, if I don't have a job in 5 years, that means there's no need for us to be able to need to support cancer patients because, I mean, hopefully there'll be a cure. That is the ultimate goal. But in that process, we want to make sure that we have those funds available so we can help support that full house of individuals, to help support our patient navigators who are helping thousands of other patients and also helping to support. We're expanding. We're trying to grow even more so we can help even more people. And every small effort, no matter how big, how small, it could be a bake sale that raises $10. It could be a head shaving event, shout out Archbishop Curley, that raises $3,700. But every small effort does add up when people are involved. So the more people involved, the more those funds will come together. But fundraising, again, allows Ulman to grow and reach more families. That is our ultimate goal, to make sure that anyone across the entire world, if you're a young adult with a cancer diagnosis, you have an organization that you can reach out to that will be there to support you throughout the entire process. So how fundraising also impacts you. This is something that a lot of people don't really think about. When you think about fundraising, you think about bringing in that money and helping someone else. The way that I like to run things here is making sure that fundraising also impacts you. Fundraising builds confidence. When you get that first yes, you are on that huge high. You want to do even more. You want to make sure you're supporting more people. You want to make sure that you can go out and try to raise even more money. It really does get addictive, but it really builds that confidence that you really need as you move on into your professional, your personal life. This is a confidence that will really help support you throughout literally the rest of your life. So this is a skill that I want everyone, or the opportunity that I want everyone to be able to experience because again, it does really, really help you. In addition, it strengthens your communication skills, and that's perfect. As I stumble on my words, that's perfectly okay. However, I do feel like I'm a very strong communicator, and a lot of it does have to do with my time and experience with fundraising. Fundraising also develops leadership. This is a different type of lead. This is that real world leadership that we want you to be able to experience because this is that leadership that you're actually going to be using once you graduate from high school. This is not the same experience. It also improves your organization and time management skill. It creates that real world experience that I just mentioned, but it also creates that sense of purpose, that reason, that why, that really pushes you for the rest of your time. And fundraising looks different for everyone. A lot of people will go out and say, hey, the only thing that works for me is a bake sale. Other people will go out and say, the only thing that works for me is reaching out for sponsorship or having that one big event. But there is no one direct way to fundraise. Fundraising is bent on you, your community, trying to find that strong option within your own community, within yourself. So don't think that if someone does one thing that you need to do the exact same thing because it may not work for you. Perfect example, just because I see some schools on here that do have a dress code. Yeah, there's some schools on here that would absolutely love to do a dress down day. However, there's a lot of public schools on here where a dress down day makes absolutely no sense because you dress down every day. Find what works for you, find what works for your community, find what's really going to drive them. Game nights, dress down days, social media campaigns, partnering with local businesses, school nights. But again, impact is built through action and intention. Told you it's going to keep coming up. All right. So as we start looking into fundraising, I know a lot of people have this concern. It's something that's very awkward to do. I don't know how to do it. I don't want to do it. But I'm going to tell all of you this is something that's very, very easy to do and also very important. And when we start, the first thing that you need to do and the first thing you need to understand is your why. And what I mean by why, it's not why am I raising, well, I guess it is kind of why am I raising money, but it's why am I a part of this program? So out of curiosity, anyone that wants to share, come off mute, put it in the chat. Why are you doing the So Do We campaign? And it could be honestly anything. It could be I'm interested in the medical field. It could be I have a personal connection to cancer. It could be this is going to look great on my college application. It's perfectly fine. There is no wrong answer to this, but I'm really curious as to what is your reasons why for doing this? Grace puts a personal connection to cancer. Absolutely. A lot of us do. Sophia's interested in the oncology field. Fantastic. Personal interest in medicine. There you go. Want to make a real change in my community. Yeah, these are absolutely great answers. My friend encouraged me to join, and I like to help people. I love that. Yeah, I love helping people. I think it's the best thing. So I'll share my why, and I'm going to share this is the reason that I tell people why I work with Ulman, why I've worked in the cancer realm for the past 5 years now. My why, my reason for being a part of this is, I mean, there's many different reasons. One of which, I have a very strong connection to cancer. My mom is a survivor. My uncle passed away from cancer. My grandfather passed away from cancer. One of my best friends is a survivor of cancer. I've known so many people who have been directly affected. But also during my time working within the cancer realm, I've come even more connected with more individuals with cancer. Some of my best friends that I've met through previous organizations, some former students of mine that I've stayed really close with because they become part of my family and they become my why. Every day when I come into work, I go, I'm really tired. Why am I doing this? And all I have to do is think about my why, or I can explain it to someone else, and it really pumps me up. It gets other people excited as to what I'm doing. So, really understanding your why is extremely, extremely important. So, that's something I'm going to challenge all of you to do is try to make sure you're more comfortable, that you're able to articulate the reason why you want to be a part of this program and why you want to help others. And again, it could be absolutely anything. There is no wrong answer at all. As long as you understand that why, it's going to make this entire program a lot easier for you as well. So I'm going to share a quick video for you that's going to be a very strong why. This is, oops. So this is Lorraine and Charlene. They were former residents of Ulman House. They've been heavily involved with Ulman for years. In fact, Charlene is now on our board, and Lorraine is on our young adult board. But they're going to share their story and their reason for being involved with Ulman. And it will be another story for you that you can add to your why. You all hear it?
So I'm a preschool teacher. I've been teaching preschool for 6 years, and I love it. My initial fear, I guess, is like everyone. Am I going to lose my hair? That's the biggest fear I had.
The scariest thing for you was the thought of losing your hair. And the scariest thing for me was the thought of losing you. People say that young people don't get cancer. Clearly they do. We started doing our research and we looked into like extended stays. And in Baltimore, you pay for parking for everything.
Yes.
So you're talking like $40 a night just for parking. So we did. We looked into all that, and we were getting into like $8,000 just for extended stays. One of the nurses during one of her visits said, "Have you looked into the Ulman house?" As soon as you walk in, literally you're like, wow, it's so big and bright and open. It just automatically feels
It's very inviting. Yes.
inviting,
Yes.
welcoming.
You feel safe here.
You do. And that's a good word, safe. You feel safe.
Yeah. From the time we walked in and met the other family and the RA, Peter, they just welcomed us from the time we walked through that door. We talked about our diagnosis, and it just felt great to be able to talk to someone my age that can relate to what I'm going through, because I've never had that.
Lorraine was really nervous about getting her catheter. And the evening that she got it, I didn't sleep all night. I'm watching her. But then talking to the other mom in the house, she mentioned how sometimes she doesn't sleep and then she watches her son. And as soon as she said it, Lorraine looked at me like, you two are meant to meet because,
That sounds familiar. Yes.
Ulman House is symbolic and representative of what this organization has been working for since it was created in 1997. Ulman House is not just a home, it's a community, a place where no young adult has to face cancer alone. The mission of Ulman Foundation and the work at Ulman House provides our patients and families a lot of tangible things. But if there's one thing that we've been reminded of, is that the most important gift we can give our community is hope. And there's a lot more work to be done.
Yeah, now all of you have another reason why, another story that you can tell. And I keep mentioning stories. Storytelling is a very, very important part of not only fundraising, but if you want to get into business, honestly, if you want to get into medicine, being able to share those stories to help relate to others is very, very important. So understanding again your why, so you can share your own personal story, share the stories of others that are willing to help just share their own experiences. But really understanding the storytelling process and being able to share your why makes this entire process easier, makes it way more fun, and you do get a lot more out of it as well. So as I mentioned before, fundraising is a huge, huge part of this. And this is something that a lot of people, I mean, not even just people your age, not just young adults, but literally everyone says this. I met with one of our volunteers. His name is Brian Schaefer. He's absolutely fantastic. He did our Haymakers for Hope. He literally got punched in the face to help support Ulman. And he raised like $170,000. And I said, how do you do it? He said, I overcame my fear. There was, even though he's a realtor, he's used to talking to people. A lot of people, when you buy a house, that's a lot of money involved. So, but you would think that he'd be very comfortable with it. He goes, no, it's very awkward asking people I know for money. Ted Lasso said one of the best quotes. If it's a lot like riding a horse. If you're comfortable doing it, you're probably doing it wrong. I don't know if there's any Ted Lasso fans, but it's one of my favorite quotes that he has because it's 100% true when it comes literally comes to life. This is something I want all of you to be comfortable with is being uncomfortable. Again, we shared stories today at work where literally our senior staff, our senior directors are saying, you know what? Last year, it was for the first time in a long time, I asked people that just really made me uncomfortable to reach out to ask them for support. And honestly, I just really wanted to get more comfortable with being uncomfortable because of how important it is. So you're not being awkward when you're asking people for support. It is not an awkward thing because, again, you're not asking for yourself. If I walked up to you and said, "Hey, I would love for you to give me $1,000," would that be awkward? Most likely because I barely know that many. I know you guys decently well, but not well enough to ask you for money. Yeah, that's a very awkward experience, and that's probably what you're really thinking about when you're talking to people and saying, "Hey, I would love for you to support me. My goal is to raise $1,000. Can you give me money?" That's weird. I get that. That is very awkward, but that's because you're coming at it, and I'm not going to say the incorrect way, but in a different light. My suggestion for you is think about it from the other side of things. Who's benefiting after this? So you're not asking for money for yourself. You're asking for those 89,000 people per year who get diagnosed. Those people who need that support, that need the medical treatments, that need to not be paying $40 a night for parking. That's insanity. That just give them the opportunity to be able to survive and thrive and just focus on getting healthy. That is the goal. So that's the support that we're asking for. So you're asking people to be a part of something good. What we do is good. We don't hide any money. We're not giving any money to anyone else. Our funds stay directly with Ulman House and with the patients that we support. Most people do also want to help. How many of you realize that tax season's coming up? Just raising hands. See a couple of hands raised. Yeah, tax season's coming up. Do you know what the number one tax write-off is? Nonprofit donations. So a lot of people need to donate for tax purposes, but even more people also just want to help. They just don't know how. They don't know who to help, who to support until you talk to them. Also, saying no. I know that's a big fear for a lot of people. What if they say no? Who cares? Who cares if they say no? I don't know if there's any baseball fans, but I do think it's a perfect example when it comes to fundraising, to sales, to literally everything in life. In baseball, if you fail 7 out of 10 times, you're a Hall of Famer. That's weird to say, but it's 100% true. It's those three hits that you get. Those are the ones that matter. So keep going out there. Pete Rose, perfect example. He leads the MLB in hits all time, but it's also because he had the most at bats of all time. He kept going up. He has over 4,000 hits or way over 4,000 hits. He has the most hits, but he's also gotten out over 10,000 times. Yeah, no one remembers that 10,000. All they remember are those hits. So saying no is not personal. Saying no is part of the game. How you react to that no is really how it's going to decide if you're going to be successful or not. But asking is also a leadership skill. This is something that a lot of people, again, are uncomfortable with in asking, but that really proves your courage. It really helps build that confidence. And it really does prove that you do have that leadership quality to step aside from your uncomfortability to go out and make a difference. And every time you make an ask, every single time your confidence is going to grow, especially when you get that first yes. Nothing is better than that first yes you get every year. When you get that first dollar bill and you're like, you know what, this is great. I just helped someone. How can I help someone else? Go ask some more. So starting when it really comes to fundraising, the first area that I want to make sure that you're aware of is the easiest, obviously. So that's personal ask. So that's just asking people that you know. So this could be anything from posting on social media, sending a letter or an email, texting. Not a huge fan of texting, but I know you all are. Call your family and friends. Everyone loves a nice little phone call from someone that they know. But the reason why it works, who wants to see you be more successful than the people that you know? Your family, your parents, your neighbors, the people who have been around you for a good portion, if not all of your life, they want you to be successful. So when you're doing things like this to help support someone else, to become a change maker, they want to help support you to get there because they know it's going to a good cause and it's going to support you. The story that you tell, your why, your own personal reason for doing this program really makes the cause real for those people that know you. because a lot of them might have the same cause, whether you have that personal connection, maybe they are a doctor and they have that oncology experience. You never know, but you always need to ask those people. And this is actually a very important rule, is to always ask, because you have no idea who might be affected by cancer, who might want to support the cancer community, because so many people have been directly affected by it. And it's also the easiest place to start. Just talking with your family and friends, telling them your why, saying, hey, this is what I'm doing. I'm a part of this organization. We're working with So Do We with the Ulman Foundation. Our goal is to help raise funds to help support young adults and their families as they're going through the cancer process. Again, this is a massive, massive need. There's a huge increase um, in diagnosis within the young adult community with cancer, and there's no reason why. No one understands why. So there's more people who need to be supported more than ever. If you can directly articulate that, more people are going to want to support you. Events. You all love events. Honestly, I'm a big fan of events because they're great. So events will be things like dress down days. Shout out to Boys Latin. I saw them, a few of them on here. They did a great dress down day. I believe Park School did a dress down day as well. Doing things like that, school-wide fundraisers. Shout out Archbishop Curley for doing the head shaving event that raised $3,700. Also, shout out to those teachers who got their heads shaved. Game nights. It could be things like being participating within any of your school sports programs, doing like a half court shot during halftime, or my favorite is the duct tape challenge. If you guys want to know more about that, I'm a huge fan of that. I'm actually going to make a checklist for that too. Things like that. We can do something with pie. If you guys want to pie me in the face for something, cool, let me know. I'll come out there and get pied in the face. That sounds fun. But finding stuff that, again, creates that visibility, creates that energy. Everyone is invited to participate when it comes to events, and they also really build a community. But again, make sure you do, if you are doing an event, talk to me about it. Let's meet. Let's put together a plan. Let's go ahead and follow that event cycle. A lot of times when you guys put on events, you jump right into hosting it. You skip 2 steps. Let's work together to make sure everything is properly planned out. We're going to promote it together. We're going to make sure a lot of people know about it. Then we're going to host it, raise those funds, and then we'll wrap it up to make sure everyone feels appreciated and thanked for everything that they did. Sponsorship. How many of you have done sponsorship before? Or do you all know what sponsorship is?
Not really.
That's perfectly fine. Yeah. If you don't, that's not a big deal because you will now. So sponsorship is my favorite thing of all time when it comes to fundraising, because this is the most impactful. This is the biggest impact over the smallest amount of time. Yeah, that's everyone wants to do that, make that big impact over the small amount of time, because then you don't have to do as much, which I really hope you continue doing it anyway. So sponsorship is when you reach out to a local business, local company, local organization, or a national company, whoever you have those direct connections with, and talking to them about the program, where in turn they're going to donate to you. They're going to donate to your school's club, or your school team, and to Ulman. And in return, they're going to receive benefits. And there's going to be so many great benefits that they're going to be able to be a part of based on how much they donate. Now, again, all companies, every single company, I hope you guys remember this, every single company has to donate to a nonprofit. If they do not, they pay a significant amount more in taxes, and no one wants to give more money to the government. So this is the fastest, easiest write-off for companies. So they want to get involved as long as it is the right cause. They also love it if they get the right perks. So with us, we have sponsorships that will help support our Blue Jeans bow tie event, where they can attend the event as well as get additional recognition. We have opportunities to sponsor the entire So Do We program. If you know a company that wants to have their name on the official trophy for the entire program, cool, let us know. We'd love to talk to them. But this is where those companies will donate directly to you, to your cause, and in return, they generally will get something back in return. So this is, again, local businesses, sponsorship opportunities, proceeds nights. I know you all love Chipotle. Do you guys know that Chipotle does proceeds nights, and they do 33% back? That's an insane amount. So if you and your team want to put together a Chipotle proceeds night, 100% do it. Just make sure you know the rules about it, because it does vary from location to location. But the reason why, these companies want to support the local community. Why do they want to support the local community? Any business-minded people here? No? Okay. Well, they want to support the local community because if they support the local community is going to support them. People are far more likely to use a company or organization that supports a cause that means something to them. And again, cancer affects So many people, mainly, honestly, most people are directly affected in some way, shape, or form by cancer. So many people want to help support it. And then, like I mentioned before, sponsorship is great because one ask can be huge. You can go out to a company and say, "Hey, I'm going to meet with Whiting Turner. Yeah, they're a fantastic company, and I want them to donate $25,000." Well, your presentation is only going to be 15 to 20 minutes, which, by the way, if you are doing this, I've already made the presentation for you, and I've already written a script of what you should say, and we're going to practice it beforehand. So you're going to know everything that you need to do. You're going to get that perfect practice in. You're going to get that experience that you really need to have before you go to college and beyond, and you could potentially make a massive impact. Imagine, I don't even know how many points that would be. $25,000. That's an insane amount of points for this program. That would probably get you a win. Hey, I've seen it done before. You'll be very surprised. But also, this again, it builds that real world professional experience. I know all of you have done presentations before. This is a very different type of presentation. It's a lot different than being in front of 20 to 30 people of your peers and presenting on something that you have a decent amount of knowledge on versus 4 or 5 people. It's a lot more intimate. It's a little bit more casual. It's a lot more of a casual conversation and then doing the presentation. But it's an experience that you really need to have because you're going to do hundreds, if not thousands, for the rest of your life. So presentation skills, extremely important. All right, so some tips to be successful. Start with your why. I really going to challenge all of you to focus on your why. Why are you doing this program? Set your goal for fundraising. Does anyone know what the goal is for to be a change maker? Did you guys see that email? Anyone remember how much you need to raise to be a change maker? There you go. Sophia Lee, $1,000. Shout out to Sophia because she already has 250. Fantastic. Yeah, $1,000. Does $1,000 worry anyone? Does that sound like a lot of money? It's fair? Yeah. If you feel like it's a lot of money, yeah, it's a decent amount. But then if you break it down. How that's what $100 donations, $20, $50 donations. It's a lot more achievable when you really break it down. One of the slides that I said previously, the small amounts add up. And we have 5 months. We have time to do this to help you get to that level. But again, I'm going to share the change makers again in a minute so you guys can recognize that we have some really cool perks and benefits if you become a change maker that will really hopefully excite some of you as well. Ask, no, never hesitate to ask. Don't be afraid to ask someone. Worst they're going to say is no. And that is not a bad thing. But also don't be afraid to follow up. You are not bugging people if you reach out more than once. In fact, I've heard it directly from companies. They will not respond to you unless you send them 3 to 5 email follow-ups. The reason why? They get so many emails all the time, they're not going to take you seriously until at least the third email because that way they realize that it's not just a spam email that's going through. Make it personal. Again, focusing on your own personal why. Add your own personal stories as to why you're doing this. Make the entire program something that's personal to you, something that you love. Don't fear no. This is one of my favorites. Swing big in case you hit it. You never know what you're going to get unless you swing big. If you think if you're meeting with the company, you think you're going to get $1,000, ask them for five. What's the worst that's going to happen? Maybe they'll say no. Maybe they'll say, you know what? I can do that. Swing big because you never know what might happen. Use your own network. You guys will be very surprised to know who you know. Let's start with the very easiest. Your parents. Who did they know? By a show of hands, does any of your families do holiday cards, New Year's cards, or just have a card or a address book? No one does holiday cards anymore? Y'all are crazy. Talk to your parents because I guarantee they do have that. But that's a great way to start because you already have a list at your disposal. I can guarantee you if you wholeheartedly, if you meet with me and wholeheartedly embrace the fundraising process, I bet all of you could raise $1,000 in less than a week. I believe that 100% because I've seen it done a lot of time. And also, don't be afraid to say thank you. Thank you really does mean a lot. All right. Any questions so far? Anyone have any fundraising ideas they want to share before I move on?
For us, we were actually planning a fundraiser at a local farmers market that a lot of our community goes to. And we're thinking of having our own photo booth and caricature stand while also selling little brochures and flyers to help raise awareness for the foundation.
I love that. That's a great event. Anyone else doing any fun, cool stuff? All right, we'll talk about it. I want to meet with all of you. Pretty soon, I know I'm meeting with some of you from Boys Latin the next couple of weeks. Park School, but yeah, let's schedule some things. I want to get every single team together, and I would love to meet with you to generate some more fun ideas that you can really get behind. But again, you all will be very surprised how successful you can be. All right. So I mentioned this before, change makers. Change makers is a great way for you to make that individual impact on your team. Or if you know someone that doesn't want to be a part of the team but still wants to be involved, this is a great way for them to make that big impact that they're probably really looking for. And everything we do revolves around our pillars. So it starts with being human, completing 15-hour volunteer hours. Hopefully doesn't sound like a lot. That's an hour a day for 2 weeks. That's not a huge deal. A bunch of you have already completed a decent amount of hours. I still have some more I need to tabulate, but this is something that should be very, very easy. As long as you let me know what you're doing before you do it, I can make sure that you get credit. Attending 7, which is half of the educational classes that we have. Well, guess what? You guys are already on 1. And all the rest will be recorded and put on YouTube. I know we're a little bit behind. Our website's going a little bit slow right now, but we're working on it. But you're going to have access to these videos at any point in time. And all you have to do is watch it and take the quiz. Super easy to do. So all you have to do, watch that videos, take the quiz, and that's only half of them. All you have to do is watch half of them. Fundraising $1,000. Again, I know this is a concern for some of you. Meet with me. Individually, if you want to meet as a team, if you want to meet individually, I would love to meet with you any of you individually virtually. Go over the plan to make sure that you are successful within fundraising. I have some great ideas. I have some great brainstorming mechanisms. Actually, let's talk about that. I'll do that in a second. And then earning 40 total points. So if you add everything up on there, it's a little bit short of 40. So this is just doing a little bit extra to help support you, whether it's fundraising more, attending extra classes, or volunteering, just going above and beyond. But the benefits that you get from it are awesome. Letters of recommendation. Yes, it could come from me. I might throw in some incentives later that might come from maybe our Chief Development Officer, Jesse Hayes. Maybe if you're really good, Brock Ulman, our CEO, might do a letter of recommendation. That might not sound like a lot for some of you who are underclassmen, but letters of recommendation are gold as you're looking into college, into scholarships, or even looking for a job. So these are great to have for your future. And I will be very honest and blunt with you. I am very good at letters of recommendation. We will do an Ulman certified letter for your volunteer hours that we will send directly to your school to make sure that you get credit for as many hours as I can possibly give you for the work that you did during this campaign. Once you get changemaker status, we're going to start, once we get the first person to do changemakers, we're going to start an automatic entry every month for Ulman swag. So someone that's a changemaker will just randomly one day get a bag of swag that I don't know what's in it. We're getting some cool stuff coming in now. But yeah, you're going to have a chance to get free stuff just for being a part of the changemaker program. It's also going to give you priority status to any of our premier volunteer opportunities. Biggest one would probably be Blue Nose Bow Tie. That is the one event everyone wants to volunteer at. We have a very small amount of volunteer opportunities. You will be at the top of the list because we know that you have what it takes to really make that impact. There is only 2 months until that point, so you might want to get started. You'll get additional recognition on our Ulman social media, and something I am very excited to announce. I put it in the emails before. Hopefully you saw it. We're going to be having a Changemakers party. So if you get the Changemakers status, we're gonna personally invite you to a celebration in Baltimore, somewhere in Baltimore. I have an idea. I'm working on it right now. We're gonna have DJ. We're gonna have a really fun experience for you and all of the other Changemakers. 100% on Ulman. We'll do mocktails. We'll have DJ. We'll try to get a photo booth, but we're gonna make it something that's very, very, very fun that you all can really get behind and really have some fun with. So hopefully, does that sound like a fun event that you guys might want to go to, hang out with other change makers from other schools and just have fun? Yes, Sandy says yes. Anyone else interested in doing this party? If not, I'll go by myself. I am perfectly fine with it. Cool. Yes, love it. So a lot of you are really interested in that. I know the biggest concern you guys have is that 1,000. So let me actually stop screen share because I want to give you a little bit more ideas of what you can do to help reach that 1,000 before we do our final video, which I'm really excited about. Okay, so some ideas for you. I have some brainstorming mechanisms that I sent out for sponsorship, but this is what I want you to do. There's a great brainstorming device called 50 Contacts in 5 minutes. You'll be very surprised to know how many people you know over a very short amount of time. So the best way to start with these 50 contacts, the reason why I say 50, that is the fastest, easiest way to surpass $1,000. If all 50 people donate $20, you're already there. $20 is not a lot. And you'll get people who donate more than that. But also you'll be surprised who those people know and who also they might know that might want to help support you too. So that's where I really want you to start. And the best way to do that is just talk to your parents. Have a conversation with your parents about this program, about what you're doing, saying, hey, I would really love to raise $1,000 to help support Ulman, and I would love your help in doing that. Who do we know that can help? Do we have a holiday card list? Do we have an address book? The reason why I love talking about those specifically, your parents are already comfortable reaching out to them because they do it on a yearly basis. So those are the people that are far more likely to help support you because they know more about you. But it's also the people your parents are probably going to be far more comfortable with you reaching out to. I also have text templates. I also have email templates for you to be able to send out to anyone. I've told you, I'm going to make this as easy as possible for you so you don't have to stress. I will put everything together for you that all you have to do is personalize it and send it. That is it. But getting those emails out to 50 people, we're actually, I will give you a little sneak peek probably pretty soon. We're going to have a really nice incentive that's going to offer double points for any donation for probably the month of February. And I'm also going to offer triple points for any sponsorship. Yeah, imagine getting $1,000 sponsorship that turns into 3,000. So that's what, 30 points? 30 points would probably put you in first place. Yeah, tons of opportunities that are going to be coming up very, very soon to really blow out this competition and really, really help your team because it's pretty intense, this competition right now. Shout out, I think it's Hebron and Poolsville are neck and neck at the moment. But that's the best place to start when it comes to personal asks. So start working on that list of 50 individuals. Does that sound manageable? 50 individuals that you and your family know? See thumbs up. I see a couple of yeses. Is anyone concerned about 50? Does that sound like too many? No? Cool. Cool. So then when it comes to sponsorship, little surprise for you. Guess what? You already have a list. Those 50 contacts. Again, you'll be very surprised all the people that you know, and could be people that your parents know, those business partners that they have, the colleagues at work. But you'll be surprised the other business connections that you have. In addition, I do have a brainstorming device that I want to make sure you guys are aware of. I sent it out previously. I'll send it out again. This is a great tool to start thinking about the companies that you and your family already work with. I'm going to ramble off a bunch of different businesses that your family may or may not work with. If your family does work with any of these, go ahead and just send me a thumbs up. Roofing companies, siding companies, paving and sealing companies, pool companies, landscaping companies. Let's see, auto shops, bought a car in the last couple of years, accountants, lawyers, local restaurants. Some of those work. You guys, your family do work with any of those? Cool. Yeah. I mean, those are very, very easy places to reach out to because you already have that connection with them. A little fun fact about those businesses, they want to retain your business. So they're far more likely to donate to you because they want your family to keep coming back. All right. So I'm going to jump back in. I'm going to share one more very, guess personal, not personal, an influential story that I'm really excited about. One of our previous patients or our house residents, his name is William Yank. Some of you may know him. He is a pretty prominent podcaster within the cancer realm, but he's done a lot of work with Ulman. He's an absolutely fantastic individual. So I wanted to share a little bit of his story. I will say there is one brief moment of profanity, so you're offended, I'm sorry. It's going to be at the very end. You can just kind of tune out.
My name is Will. My family's from Indiana. I got diagnosed with leukemia when I was 21 years old. I had about a month where I was inpatient. I had completely blacked out. I was in a conscious coma, couldn't remember any of it. My mom had actually gotten a call when I initially got diagnosed that she needed to start making funeral arrangements for me because they didn't think I was going to make it. So Ulman's impact on me has been paramount. It's where I found normalcy. It's where I made friends. It's where I shared experiences with people, had the same mental and emotional battles, and could share that with the other patients in the rooms. Ulman for me is more than just a foundation. It's an opportunity to connect and create more survivors. It's sometimes half the cancer battle is just the being in our heads and the willingness to endure another day of whatever that hell might be. But I know that for a young adult, we're no longer the forgotten generation with Ulman. Ulman makes sure that we're remembered, no matter what. And as you can see from the names on the wall to the Cancer to 5K to people writing stuff on their calves to, I don't know, get tats and stuff, whatever you want to do, you're never forgotten there. And I couldn't be more thankful or grateful. So let's raise a glass. Join me, please. Raise a glass. Let's say cheers to Ulman, cheers to surviving, and cheers to building the damn legacy. Let's go. Thank you.
All right. So next steps. Hopefully this meeting has been motivating for some of you to really kind of push you all to get into the fundraising a little bit more to really make that impact. Again, those dollars really make a difference. I encourage all of you to try to get a trip to Ulman House whenever possible so you can really see firsthand everything that we're doing. We have great news with expanding. We have so many more opportunities that are happening, but we can't do it without your support. I love to brag about all of you. I love to say the impact that our students are making is so unbelievable, and I really would love to show everyone exactly what I mean. So understand your why. Focus on that story. Figure out what really means a lot to you when it comes to this campaign. Individually or as a team, if you want to meet with me personally, if you want to meet with me just as a full team, let's set up that meeting. Either with myself, I can find someone from Ulman staff. If you don't want to meet with me, I don't know why. I'm a pretty nice guy, but I want to work with you. We're going to come up with a fundraising plan. We're going to create an event. We're going to come up with those ideas for now till the end of the school year. That way, we're going to have a great plan. We're going to know exactly what we need to prepare for. We need to know exactly what we need to promote. And I'm going to help you every step of the way. If it sounds exhausting, I'm going to be there to help you to make sure that this is as easy as possible. This is a turnkey program where I'm going to do the work for you. You're going to make sure that you learn as much as possible while I'm doing this work. We're going to explain it together. We're going to work together, and you're going to be able to put the best product out there. And start bragging about yourself. Start talking to your family and your friends about what you're doing in this program. Everything you're doing, every educational class. First off, shout out to you all. We did over 80 hours of educational courses that were attended during that first 3 months of this program. That is unheard of. That is insanity. Previously, it was always zero. So to have those many hours listened to that you all really, really want to learn, that is huge. So we want you to keep learning. Brag about what you're learning about. Brag that you are learning, that you're trying to learn to better yourself, to better your community, to help young adults with cancer, to help the Baltimore community. What we're doing helps so many people. Brag about it. Tell people that, hey, I am working with Ulman and I am making an impact. You don't need to have everything figured out. You just need to start. Getting started is the hardest thing to do. So if there's anything that we can do to help you get started, let us know. Again, we have some really cool things coming through the WordWorks. For those who didn't see the last email, one of the things that we are doing is we are going to start working on Zach, we will talk about that in a little bit. You and I will talk personally about that. But yeah, so for those who, sorry, my dog is going crazy right now. But yeah, want you to just go out, start making that impact, start making that, just getting that start going. Once you get started, everything becomes a lot easier. And I want to help you get to that start because once we start, that's when we can push for that finish. We can create that great plan to make sure that you are as successful as possible. Again, this looks fantastic on your resume for the rest of your life. I want to help support you in any way possible. I want to make sure that we're supporting our community any way possible. And I want to make sure we're supporting the young adult cancer patients and their families any way possible. Again, I'll very broadly share this story because it is something that's And it's not the best thing. What we do is not always happy. So, unfortunately, recently we've lost a handful of former patients that did leave behind family members, that younger family members, kids, husbands, wives that were younger. So, the need is definitely out there for us that we really need the support. We want to grow, we want to help support people. So, come to Ulman House. Come take a look. I am more than willing to do this on a weekend. I will come in on a weekend. I don't care. Whatever works for you, we can make this work where you can come see exactly what you're doing, help get motivated. We have some fun stuff. Oh, the t-shirts. That's what I was going to mention. We're going to start working on putting together a specific t-shirt just for the Soda We program. We're going to post it on our website. We're working on the design right now. But if this is something that you want to get personalized specifically for your school, we can do that. We built an arrangement with the t-shirt company that as long as we have written permission from your school to use the school logo or the school name, we will add it onto the school onto the t-shirt itself, and we will sell it for a small amount of time on our website where anyone from your school or literally any alumni, anything at all, can go on there and buy it. All the funds that are raised for that shirt specifically for your school will also count for your school total as well. And as a kind of a caveat, because I know I will get this question a lot, I know some of you have already done events. How do I break up the funds for those who might be getting close to change makers? If you're getting close, we'll figure it out. Do not worry about it. I am very flexible on that. If the funds are there, we can figure it out. But hopefully you all feel a little bit more motivated. You guys feel a little bit more comfortable when it comes to fundraising or a little bit less anxious? Good. Honest, I know it's scary. I know it feels awkward. Fundraising is very fun. If you guys are competitive, it's a game. I see it 100% as a game. It's very fun to do. It's really cool to see the impact. I want to try. I'm working on getting some more videos made so we can show you a little bit more about what's going on, all the people that you're helping. And then that is all I have. So, any questions about anything that we went over today at all? Don't be afraid to reach out. Yes, Edith.
I have a question regarding the service hours. So, do you know when we could have an opportunity to go to the Ulman House and actually volunteer?
Yeah, just reach out to us. We have people coming in like every other week at this point. Just let us know what time works for you. I know I was in touch with Inman for a little bit. So we'll put something together for this coming semester. Just give me dates and we can figure it out. And if you just want to come and not volunteer and just do a tour, I know you guys are a little bit farther away, so probably not. But that's 100%. That's perfectly fine too. I have no problem just coming by and giving you guys a tour as well. Whatever works for you, we will do our best to make it happen. So work with your school, figure out when you would be able to come up. If you want to do it outside of school hours, cool. We can work that out too. All right, any other questions? All right, I'm going to stop the recording, but don't leave yet.